Great Scott. Great Scott. Great Scott.
Hello everyone, welcome to Great Scott. I'm Scotty V. Thanks for watching. Today I found out some rather interesting casting news on the new Superman movie, and I'm sure you're all aware of it by now, that Laurence Fishburne has been cast in the role of Perry White. This has been received with a veritable vitriol of verbosity on the forums online, on different message boards, even in the media. It's similar to the relaunch of Ultimate Spider-Man, where Peter Parker has recently been killed, and a mixed race, African-American Hispanic boy will take over the reins. Now, I less understand the problem with the Peter Parker thing, other than people being upset that one of the most beloved comic book characters of all time has been killed off. However, since it's an Ultimate line, and it is not actually in the Marvel Universe proper, the idea that Peter is dead in an alternate universe is kind of like Kal, capital L, is Superman in a different universe, and Kal-El is Superman in our universe. It's a different character, it's a different universe, and it's okay. And I actually thought it was kind of cool when I read that Peter Parker would be, the mantle of Spider-Man would be taken over by a mixed race young kid, and it would start over again, and he was inspired by Peter and Spider-Man, and he wanted to do what he could do. Now, I don't buy Spider-Man comics, so I won't know exactly how it happens, or why it happens, or how he gets the powers, or anything along those lines. But this is about Superman. My initial reaction upon reading the news that Laurence Fishburne was cast was, what? Now, I know that people will cry racism, and I've already read it on many of the message boards. Now, the truth is, many people are saying horrible, horrible things on many different message boards throughout the internet. The very racist comments, very racist remarks, saying very nasty things that it's unfortunate that people still feel that strongly about that kind of a thing, that they feel okay about typing it on the internet. I am not happy about the casting simply because, to me, it's not Perry White. Perry White has always been a gruff, kind of fatherly but aggressive go-getter who was a white guy with gray in his hair and maybe a little overweight. He shouted things like, "Great Caesar's ghost!" Although I'd be okay if they didn't have that in the movie, because sometimes it's a little over the top. "Great shades of Elvis!" I was okay with that on the Lois and Clark series, because it updated the character, but it was in such a way that still held true to the roots of the said character. I actually was hoping for John Goodman to be cast. I haven't seen enough of him. I think he's got great, powerful presence, and I think he'd be a great Perry White. Laurence Fishburne is a fine actor, and I'm sure he will do a fine job. It's just not the version of Perry White I had been hoping to see, and I think maybe some of the more reasonable people on the internet feel the same way. You'll always have jerks who spout off racist comments and say racist things, and I think that that's unfortunate, especially people who are talking about a Superman movie and using that kind of dialogue. But I am disappointed with this casting. It's the first casting that I've heard on the movie that I'm not that happy about. I was really hoping for a more comic book, visually pleasing film. In other words, that it looked more like all these characters than I have seen in quite some time. I thought Lane Smith on Lois and Clark was one of the closer adhered to looks. He was Southern, and he did have that Great Shades of Elvis thing that some people weren't happy about, but I thought he really embodied the character. And Lawrence could do a fine job embodying the idea of Perry. He just doesn't look to me like I would want Perry to look. Now, as we all know, Kingpin was cast with an African-American in Michael Clark Duncan back in the Daredevil movie, and more recently in the Marvel movies, Samuel L. Jackson is Nick Fury. Neither of those casting choices was I particularly happy about either, and for Sam, it seems to me that he's not really Nick Fury, but he's Sam. He's like, shut your mouth. He's kind of playing it in a in a Shaft kind of way, and hopefully Laurence Fishburne won't do that kind of thing, be over the top, and I think Samuel L. Jackson is over the top that way in a lot of his roles. But we'll see in the summer of 2013. Remember, whatever casting announcements come down the pike, be nice to each other, and always look up in the sky.